They shall be my sons, and in them will live the hopes of a unified humanity. Theirs will be the strength to prevail, not only when victory lies within easy reach, but even when it seems unattainable. When doom settles like a shroud all about, in those times of darkness, my noble sons will shine the brightest of all. So, after the Emperor conquered Holy Terra, he began to move into his next plan. He knew that in order to conquer the galaxy, he needed to create something stronger and better than his previous Thunder Warriors. But he also knew that in order to lead this mighty army, he would need other leaders. These leaders would be known as his sons or his Primarchs. Now, put simply, a Primarch is a living, breathing god in a human-like body, nearly unkillable and with the intellect to battle even the sweatiest Star Wars fan. The Emperor would go on to create 20 sons, who would each lead their own army. But before this could happen, Chaos stepped forth and spread his sons throughout the galaxy. Now, as big as a setback as this was for him, he decided to move forth with his plan and create 20 different legions of Space Marines, using the DNA from each different Primarch. To quote the Emperor himself, "They shall be my finest warriors. These men who give of themselves to me. Like clay I shall mold them, and in the furnace of war I shall forge them. They shall be of iron wheel and steely sinew. In great armor I shall clad them, and with the mightiest weapons shall they be armed. They will be untouched by plague or disease, no sickness shall blight them. They shall have such tactics, strategies, and machines that no foe will best them in battle. They are my bulwark against the terror. They are the defenders of humanity. They are my Space Marines, and they shall know no fear." Now, I will not lie, a lot went on before the Emperor found his sons. One big thing that I can't gloss over is that the Emperor signed a treaty with the Techno priests of Mars, more commonly known in current lore as the Adeptus Mechanicus. The treaty stated that they would help the Emperor with technology as long as they were allowed to worship him as their Omnissiah, the embodiment of their machine god, in which they believed that all wisdom and knowledge came from. We will get to them in a different video. The reason the Emperor allowed this was due to him not wanting to start a war with them, since he knew it would be more trouble than it was worth, as well as he figured after the Great Crusade, he could convert them to the imperial truth. Due to him being able to see with his psychic abilities where his sons were, the Emperor would begin to reunite with his sons, which would truly allow for the peak of the Great Crusade, as eventually hundreds of thousands of worlds would fall under imperial control. So now I will begin to delve into each different Primarch, in the order they were found. I will make a video for each one of them, as I feel it is an undue justice to try and speak of all of them in such a short amount of time. The first to be found was none other than the Emperor's favorite son, Horus. Now, unlike other Primarchs, Horus's early life is a bit of a mystery, but what is known is that, as he was the first to be found by the Emperor, he was given control of his Luna Wolves Legion, the 16th Legion, early on in the Great Crusade. Beyond that is contradictions, as well as just outright ignoring what happened in his early life. What is well known are the endeavors that he was involved in leading to the Horus Heresy, which I will get to eventually, as that is going to take a lot of explaining in history to fully explain what happened. But it is said that Horus thrived on the planet he landed on, that being Chthoniya, a former mining planet that had evolved into slums and gangs. Horus would grow to be an adult amongst these gangers, and he spoke in a rough language known as Chthonic. But it was said he did this in order to show his legion that they had common ground, being not born in high standing. It's said that Primarchs are essentially supposed to be either like a father figure or almost as like an older brother to their sons, their Space Marines. The Emperor and Horus would grow to have the closest attachment to one another, as for a while he was the only son of the Emperor that had been found. Horus was also well liked amongst the Primarchs from his sheer charisma as well as his natural leader capabilities, and won favor from his Primarch brothers due to this. As the Emperor began to have his time divided due to him working on a secret project, which I will get into again later, he decided to promote Horus to War Master, as he believed that Horus was capable of leading the other Primarchs as well as their overall armies as a whole, which would leave the Emperor to quote, "You are like a sun, and together we have all but conquered the galaxy. Now the time has come for me to retire to Terra. My work as a soldier is done, and now passes to you, for I have great tasks to perform in my earthly sanctum. I name you War Master, and from this day forth all of my armies and generals shall take orders from you as if the words came from my own mouth. But words of caution I have for you, for your brother Primarchs are strong of will, of thought, and of action. Do not seek to change them, but use their particular strengths well. You have much work to do, for there are still many worlds to liberate, many peoples to rescue. My trust is with you. Hail Horus, hail the War Master." Although at first Horus would not accept this title, as he did not want to be seen above his brothers, he would eventually accept the title. The Emperor would never tell him what he was truly working on, and this would greatly upset the Primarchs. Even Horus, who would begin to feel jealousy over his accomplishments being attributed to the Emperor of mankind, which would eventually sow the seeds for the Horus heresy to take place.